reason I'm calling is that I figured in this crazy economy, it would make sense for us to get together. It would make sense for us to share some leads and some resources. Let's get together for coffee. Let me show you you show me what you do, and I'll show you what I do. And maybe we could refer some people to each other. You see, a lot of your people are not making calls like this because they don't have the script. Scripts are essential to helping people to be successful. If you're doing things that are successful, by the way, some of you need to take your voice notes recorder. You need to take your smartphone and you need to sit there, lock yourself up in your office or the bathroom, and you need to talk into that recorder and say everything that you know about prospecting to your people. Every line that you use, every phrase that you use, everything you know about Primerica, put it on a voice recording and then give it to your people. It's instant training. And you can make an MP3 of it, and you can give it to everybody on your team. I train all of my salespeople, but every time they're with me, I put them on three-way calls. They listen to me on three-way calls, and we record the calls so that they can listen. Your people need language. My business at MJ Durkin Seminars, we provide language all the time. That's what we're all about, is giving you language. Facebook and LinkedIn. Now, you check with your RVP or your regional leader about compliance, but here's what I'm going to recommend. I'm going to recommend that you use the inbox feature. That you use the inboxing feature. You know, with compliance, you cannot say a lot of things on Facebook or LinkedIn that you might like to say. Yes or yes? You can't do that. Can you send a personal message asking someone to meet with you? You'll notice there's nothing about Primerica. There's nothing about insurance. There's nothing about anything that compliance should have any trouble with. Double check with your leader. This is a Facebook message between you and an individual. It's just you and an individual. Hi, John. I know it's been a while since we've talked. I've got a question to ask you that can only be handled with a personal phone call. My cell number is this. You can call me there, or you can message me your cell number, and I'll get back to you when I can. Look forward to talking with you. How many of you have more than 300 friends on Facebook? Many of them don't. Many of them you have not shown presentations to. Yes or yes? Yes. If you could get them on the phone, could you book an appointment with them? Yes. But you don't get them on the phone, right? Because you don't have their number, because you know them through Facebook. Yes or yes? Yes. So what you use Facebook for is an interpersonal communication to say, call me, and I will talk to you. I have a personal question I need to ask you that can only be handled with a personal phone call. They will write back to you. What do you want to talk to me about? You write back. That's why we need the personal phone call. Some of you will tell me, I can't get this younger generation to talk to me. They only want to text. All they do is text. So I text them, I want to meet with you. They text back, what's it about? You should text back. People, what do I do when they say when they text me, what's it about? You text back. It is too important to do this by text. Let us talk by phone. Then they'll write back to you. But what is it? I want to know what it is before I meet with you. Then you text back. That's why we need to talk person to person like human beings having a conversation on the phone. By the way, I have your phone number, so I am now ringing your phone to speak with you live. Pick up your darn phone! If you want to build a Primerica business, you've got to get people on the phone. You've got to get them to return your call. You've got to get into an interpersonal communication. Once you get them on the phone, can you now invite them to talk to them about insurance, finances, F&A, all that stuff? Yes or yes? Yes. You've got to learn how to get people on the phone. That's critical. That's totally critical. Let's talk about, again, a little review. Recommendation selling. You got to find a lead. Say find a lead.
Find a lead.
Number 2, you got to book a presentation. Say book a presentation. Number 3, you got to make a recommendation. Say make a recommendation. All right, let's talk about booking presentations. Warm market power phrases. As a personal favor to me. As a personal favor to me, would you meet with me? As a personal favor, would you meet with me? I would be honored if you would look at this for me. I need your opinion. I would really be honored if you would let me come over with my trainer and show you this. I would be honored if you would look at this for me. You use these to make your own scripts that the company gives you and that your leaders give you to make your prospecting stronger. When somebody says, well, I don't know if I'm interested, you say, but listen, as a personal favor to me, I really need to get together with you. I would really consider it a huge personal favor. And I got that one from Omar Oropesa. He uses that like 7 times in a script. As a huge personal favor, as a huge personal favor, as a huge personal favor. I would be honored if you would look at this for me. It will make more sense for me and for you if you'll meet with me. Well, why don't you just tell me about it over the phone? Why don't you just tell me what you want to talk to me about? It'll make more sense for you and for me if you meet with me and we talk. It'll make more sense for you and for me. What day is better for you? Is Wednesday or Thursday good? Do you trust me? Do you trust me, Mom? Do you trust me? Yes, son, I trust you. Great. Listen, I was just hoping you'd do a personal favor for me. I'd really be honored if you'd sit down and let me show this to you. I'm going to bring my good friend, John Lavin, with me. He's awesome in the business, and we're going to just show you what I'm doing. I would really consider it a huge personal favor. Can I write this one down? Can I count on you to help me? That's a powerful line right there. Can I count on you to help me? That's an awesome one. You've got to set appointments. You've got to book presentations. When you're booking presentations, okay, here's some really quickly. You've got to put your names and numbers on a handwritten list. You've got to carry that list with you, and you've got to look at it all day long. If you go to mjdurkinseminars.com, go to the free tools section. You can download a copy of the list for free. I want your names and numbers. I want them out of your raspberries, your mulberries, your blackberries, your halle-berries. Get them out of your electronic stuff. Bill Whittle loved this. When I met Bill Whittle 8 years ago, he said, MJ, I always believed in thinking in ink. You ever heard Bill Whittle say that? Think in ink. Write your names and numbers down on a handwritten list. It is absolutely huge. It will help you tremendously. I'll show you a copy of a list up there in a minute. You've got to punch. Listen, let me explain something to you about Primerica. You want to win in Primerica, you got to punch buttons on a phone a lot. We don't say dial anymore because if you're saying dialing, you're old. We don't dial. You hit screens. You've got to punch buttons on a phone 25 times a day to make it in this business. Understand what you got into in Primerica. Listen to me. Listen to me. This is a heavy phone business. The phone must become your friend. You must call and call and call and call. Mr. Lavin, 34 years ago, your sponsor told you to make a list and told you to call people, yes or yes? What did you do to get those awards last night? What did you do? Still doing 34 years later? Putting names and numbers on a list, making calls, and getting in front of people. Anybody want the lifestyle or the income of the Lavins or the Saffords? Yes or yes? Let me tell you what they do. They call, they call, they call. They get in front of people. They get in front of people. The reason that John's throwing those kind of numbers up is because he's in there in the trenches calling, calling, calling. And I don't even have to ask him if he's doing it. I know what's going on because John and I have worked together for how many years now? Probably about 8 years, right? And that's how he's doing it. You've got to if some of you would just get in front of more people, you would sell stuff in spite of yourself. Accidentally, you would close people. They would say, please roll over this $200,000 annuity for me, please. They would do it. But you need to be doing presentations. You need to be calling people. Here's a great line. If you don't like what you see, can you tell me no? If you don't like, audience, if you don't like what you see, can you tell me no? If you don't like what you see, can you tell me no? What did I just get right there? I got a yes. What do you need while you're booking appointments? Yes. You got to get people to say yes. You've got to get people to say yes. The way I get people to say yes is I say, hey, look, I understand you're not interested. I understand you have an agent. I understand you don't have time, and I understand you don't like to sell. But can I ask you a question? If we sat down for 30 minutes and I show you what I do, if you don't like it, would you be strong enough to give me a no? Would you be strong enough to tell me no and throw me out of your house? I've had people say, sure, I'll throw you out of my house. What day do you want to come down to get thrown out? Because you see, you need to get the appointment. You need to get in front of them. Yes or yes? Okay, that's what a list looks like. It's got 8 spaces. You got 6 pages. If you want to manage your team, ask everybody to keep a handwritten paper list and always ask to see your team's list. The list will show you whether or not they have enough people to call. The list will show you where they have prospecting issues. They don't have enough names and numbers. They're not booking enough appointments. The list of names, write this down. Everything in Primerica starts with a lead. It's all about leads. How many of you have had your people come to you and say, we've already talked to all of my friends, relatives, and neighbors, and I have nobody else to get you in front of? Have you heard that? Yes or yes? They're dead in the water. If you don't teach them how to get leads and put names and numbers on a list, they're not going to build a business. Let's review. Find a lead. Say find a lead. Number 2, say book a presentation. Number 3, say make a recommendation. Let's talk about closing for a minute. Technique with closing. The Primerica rep says, can I make a recommendation? The prospect says, of course. You say, I would recommend that you fill out an F&A. I'm going to ask you some questions. We could put together a plan for you. It takes you. Can I make a recommendation? Sure. I would recommend that you fill out this questionnaire. We're going to put a plan together for you. Then we're going to set up a time when I can come back and show you the plan that we came up with. Let's go through the questions, and then I'd recommend that we set up a time in the next 3 days or so to get together. Now, the first question is, and you start closing, and don't ask them if they want to. Can I make a recommendation? I recommend you fill out this F&A. Don't call it an F&A. Don't use buzzwords. They don't know what an F&A is. Call it a financial needs analysis. When you go back, here's the plan that I came up with. You do the carry back, right? You come back with the plan. Can I make a recommendation? Show them the plan. Can I make a recommendation? Sure. I would recommend that you get this policy. I would recommend that you do this. I would recommend that you start saving money. I highly recommend that you do this. Can I make another recommendation? Prospect says, sure. You say, I would highly recommend you join my team as a Primerica rep. I would highly recommend that you join my team. You've already saved for retirement. You've already filled out the F&A. It'll be easy for you to do this. Let's get you signed up. What address are we going to send your bonus checks to? That's a great close. What address are we going to send? Now, notice by the way, when I'm closing, notice everyone, I highly recommend you do this. You're going to love this business. Let me get you signed up. What's the number one reason people don't join you in Primerica? They don't believe they can do it. You've got to cheerlead them. If you want to close, how many of you want to become a 90% closer? You want to become a 90% closer, you've got to encourage people. Write this down. To be a great closer, you have to be a great encourager. You can do this. You will love this. Let's get you signed up. What address are we going to be sending your bonus checks to? You will absolutely love this. I will help you. I will lock arms with you. I will make your first 25 calls with you. I will train you in the field. Let's get you started. You've got to lead people. You know what? A lot of you are playing small with this Primerica thing. Yes or yes? If you agree with a lot of you are playing small, if you agree, I'm going to ask the question again, and if you agree, I want you to go, How many of you are playing small with this thing? Cut it out. Well, it's your dreams, it's your family, it's your lifestyle. Most of you just need to be about 10% bolder. You need to be about 10% bolder and your business would explode. Some of you are too timid. You're not making recommendations. You're not closing people on appointments. You're not meeting people and getting their names and numbers. You've got to be 10 to 15% bolder. Do you want to see recommendation selling in action before we go to lunch? You want to see it in action? Take out that order form I gave you. Go ahead, take out that order form. Might as well learn something, right? Let's see how we do it. Take out that. If you need an order form, raise your hands. If you need an order form, raise your hands. If you need an order form, anybody need one? Raise your hands. Corey will bring you one. If you raise your hand, Corey will get you an order form. That's my son Corey coming to see you. He is 6'2", I am 5'8". I am pretty sure he is mine. You look at us later together. Come and get a picture with us later. Let you know. First of all, I'm going to give the first 50 people who order, I'm going to give you a $297 video course, one that Bill Whittle asked me to offer to his people in Louisiana last year. This will show you how to get more referrals. You'll absolutely love this. I'm also going to give to the first 50 who come to our table back there, I'm going to give you advanced prospecting and closing scripts. These are scripts, all of the verbiage that you saw up here, plus a ton more to help you to book the appointment, to put names on a list, and to actually close the deal. I've got $600 worth of bonuses there for you, and I'm going to go through this quickly, so stay with me. The first thing that I'm going to give